love doing it with everything that I have, and I will never, ever stop. We are one people, one family, and one glorious nation under God. We will make America great again.
Welcome to Team Trump Online.
President Trump is the leader who will rebuild the promise of America and ensure that every citizen can realize their American dream.
What does it say really about Biden's lack of leadership? I mean, it's appalling. I believe in the rule and law. I lived my life by it and I fought for it.
Ladies and gentlemen, leaders and fighters of freedom and liberty and the American dream, the best is yet to come.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Making the Case. I'm Kimberly Guilfoyle, National Chair of the Trump Victory Finance Committee. We have a great show ahead of us tonight, so let's get started. Well, the third day of the Democratic National Convention aired last night, and it was yet another snooze fest. Political conventions are supposed to be upbeat, week-long celebrations meant to unite and excite the entire party for their presidential nominee. A celebration where party leaders showcase their vision for the next 4 years. Well, we didn't get that, folks. Not even close. We got bitterness and anger and vitriol and rage. We got lots of finger pointing, and we got outdated, tired talking points. A nightmare scenario was displayed for America. There's no excitement for sleepy Joe Biden. He felt like an afterthought. But I guess we should have seen all of it coming. Just think about it. Joe Biden didn't win a primary until the fourth state. Instead, a proud socialist, Bernie Sanders, was cleaning his clock. An openly avowed socialist was running away with the nomination. Well, that wasn't until the entire Democratic establishment and party elites rallied around Sleepy Joe, woke him up at the midnight hour. Well, it struck me watching over the last few days that the convention is full of low energy losers. From Stacey Abrams to Hillary Clinton, and from John Kerry to John Kasich, heck, even Biden ran for president twice before and lost spectacularly both times. And don't tell me how the Democrats are excited about his vice presidential nominee selection, Kamala Harris. Michelle Obama was so excited, she recorded her convention speech a week before Kamala was even announced and never did a second take. Political conventions are supposed to be a unifying event, but the only unifying messages America heard last night was how America is a terrible country rooted in sin and how President Donald Trump is evil. And if you want to succeed in America, you're a bad person. If you're successful, you're greedy. On and on it went, shaming America for being great and exceptional. While some Democrats want you to believe their party is moderate, it has been taken over by the radical left elements. It's Bernie Sanders' party. Joe Biden is just the empty vessel for the radical left. And tonight, in his speech, we will see Joe Biden embrace the socialist manifesto that would destroy America as we know it. This dangerous communist manifesto rips directly from Bernie Sanders' campaign agenda. It calls for open borders, ending all deportations, allowing deadly sanctuary cities to exist, taxpayer-funded health care for illegal aliens, and much, much more. While Bernie Sanders' name won't be appearing on the ballot in November, it's clear that his agenda will be. The few times that Biden actually appeared during the putrid Democrat convention, he looked like he had no idea, no clue where he was. He does not have the strength, the stamina, the competence, or the mental fortitude acquired to lead this great country. And that's the bottom line. Coming up, we'll be joined by my special guest, Donald Trump Jr. Stay tuned. You don't want to miss this. We'll be right back after this short commercial break with more Making the Case.
Joe Biden has embraced the policies of the radical left. Trillions in new taxes, crushing middle-class families.
If you elect me, your taxes are going to be raised, not cut.
Amnesty for 11 million illegal immigrants.
Citizenship for 11 million undocumented folks.
Reducing police funding.
Yes, absolutely.
The radical left has taken over Joe Biden and the Democratic Party. Don't let them take over America.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
Kamala Harris ran for president by rushing to the radical left, embracing Bernie's plan for socialized medicine, calling for trillions in new taxes, attacking Joe Biden for racist policies. Voters rejected Harris. They smartly spotted a phony. But not Joe Biden. He's not that smart. Biden calls himself a transition candidate. He is handing over the reins to Kamala while they jointly embrace the radical left. Slow Joe and phony Kamala. Perfect together. Wrong for America.
So, Don, obviously everybody's been watching, waiting to see what this party stands for, waiting to see what is the platform, the ideas of the Democrat Party, other than this, Biden, Bernie manifesto unity plan.
Well, it's insane. The Democrats are just openly embracing communism. They want to spend $4 trillion of your taxpayer dollars to give you the privilege of paying for health care for illegal immigrants, for paying for housing for criminals, for paying for free college tuition for illegals. Now, you don't get the privilege of getting that for yourself. That's not right. That wouldn't be right. But you do have the privilege of paying for it for others. This is a party that's lost. I'm listening to Bill Clinton yesterday talking about the sanctity of the Oval Office. I mean, are you serious? Obama is going to talk about getting rich from public offices while Biden is the nominee. Yeah. I mean, Biden, whose son is taking $1.5 billion from the Chinese government, 83 grand a month from a Ukrainian oil company where he doesn't know anything about oil or speak even Ukrainian, minor details. Obama, who recently bought a $20 million house on Martha's Vineyard while lecturing about income inequality. The Democrat Party are the party of hypocrites. This is no longer your grandparents' Democrat Party. They are much more concerned about protecting everyone who's not an American citizen. And if you don't believe me, just look at Nancy Pelosi's plans, where she wants to spend millions of dollars to help the Kennedy Center for the Arts and other Democrat causes, rather than giving Americans back their taxpayer dollars when they need them most. This is the party, and it's lost its way. It's a true shame.
It really is. And it was pretty remarkable, quite frankly, that you saw Michelle Obama pre-recorded her speech a week ago, didn't even mention Kamala Harris, the VP. The whole thing seems disjointed.
Because the whole thing is a joke. Yeah. Barack Obama, all these stories coming about, don't underestimate Joe's ability to screw things up. Joe, you don't have to run. Please, you don't have to run. His whole campaign team, I mean, the New York Times is writing this article.
Right, yeah.
Because Obama knows that Joe is an empty vessel. Joe can't remember where he is 50% of the time. And again, I don't mean to make light of mental decline, right? It's so clear. Now, if Donald Trump had a Joe Biden type moment once, he'd be canceled. Every television psychologist would be on the air. But it's a shame. But that doesn't prevent Joe Biden from being a great guy, a good grandfather. He could even do some Democrat speaking stuff. But we're going to trust this guy with the nuclear football? We're going to trust this guy with your children and their grandchildren's future? So that we can avoid the elephant in the room that this guy is clearly not the guy that he was 10 or 15 years ago? I mean, just go look at YouTube. Look at Joe Biden on the floor of the Senate 10, 15 years ago. Tell me it's the same guy. Again, I don't want to make light of it. It's a serious issue. So many families deal with this. But are we going to pretend it's not real when this much is at stake? Or again, if it was, hey, he could be a great guy, we don't have to talk about it. But you're going to let this guy have the nuclear football. This guy is going to make decisions. And even Robert Gates, Obama's own Secretary of Defense, said that Joe Biden has been on the wrong side of every decision for his entire career. That's impressive because he's been in Washington, D.C. for 50 years, for half a century. Now he's going to fix things? He's going to wait half a century? Now he's going to be the savior of America? If Joe Biden knew how to fix anything, he should have told Obama, but he didn't. Because he doesn't.
And that's true. And there's nothing wrong with questioning whether or not somebody who wants to run for president of the United States, serve the country, has at least some minimal baseline of competency to be able to serve, to be in the most important office in the country. So that's what should be legitimately questioned right now. And no one's seeming to want to ask those questions. That's why they hit him in the basement. So let's take a look at some clips that we have here about Joe Biden actually accepting the nomination.
At a time like this, the Oval Office should be a command center. Instead, it's a storm center. There's only chaos. Just one thing never changes: his determination to deny responsibility and shift the blame. The buck never stops there.
In a time when millions of people in the United States are looking for deep, systemic solutions to our crises of mass evictions, unemployment, and lack of health care, en el espíritu del pueblo, and out of a love for all people, I hereby second the nomination of Senator Bernard Sanders of Vermont for President of the United States of America.
Joe and Kamala can win by 3 million votes and still lose. Take it from me. So we need numbers overwhelming so Trump can't sneak or steal his way to victory. Text VOTE 30330 to get started.
Okay, so we've taken a look at some of the clips there, and if those are the highlights, what are the lowlights of this? I mean, it's just insane. So which one did you want to comment on first?
To be lectured on the day that pictures of Bill Clinton getting massaged by, one of Epstein's victims, I guess on the way to Pedophile Island, and Bill Clinton is then going to lecture us about the sanctity of the Oval Office, given his history. I mean, it just shows you how insane and out of touch they are. It's mind-boggling that you could get away with it. I mean, in the media, nothing to see here. I mean, they don't talk about Bill Clinton going to Epstein Island. I believe it's 28 times.
Right.
They sure as heck don't talk about signing off from Secret Service, which he's done to go there. I've read. What is the former president? Why does he sign off from Secret Service to go to Epstein Island? It's sort of strange. I wonder why that would happen. But the media doesn't even ask the question. It's nothing to see here. It's absolutely insane. To hear Hillary Clinton talking about the election and not accepting the results of election, and she's playing a different game. She has been for 4 years. The Democrats themselves have not accepted the results of the 2016 election. And now they're already setting up the foundation for this time. Like, hey, if the popular vote was the way to go, we would have campaigned differently. But there's an electoral college so that the middle of America can actually still have a say in what's going on in our country.
Well, she doesn't want to. She thinks the Constitution, the rule of law, as we know, doesn't apply to her because she thinks because she got some more votes. Oh, listen, Trump stole the election. No, newsflash, lady. You lost.
You didn't go to Wisconsin.
College,
just like Joe Biden didn't go to Wisconsin, even though they have their Democrat convention there. He didn't even bother to show up. You know who showed up? We've shown up there.
Yeah.
Trump's shown up there. Vice President Pence has shown up there. My brother Eric has shown up there because we understand what these people did. Joe Biden hasn't been there. I believe it's over 2 years.
That's crazy.
Even seeing what happened in 2016, it doesn't matter because they can get away with it. It's just a big case of liberal privilege.
Yeah, she still thinks that she's actually the unduly elected president, that she got it stolen from.
Yeah,
I think
her and Stacey Abrams both won elections that no one else in the world is aware that they won, but this is the Democrat Party today. I mean, Stacey Abrams, I apologize, the governor of Georgia.
Yeah, because she is you
could be
keep
the governor.
on the low, but she's the governor.
You can lose and still be governor.
It's the new thing.
Yeah.
Did we ever lose at anything?
So the Democrats talking about all of these things and the sanctity of elections is, also pretty interesting, given the 4-year insanity that ensued because of them not being willing to accept that Hillary Clinton was arguably the worst candidate ever put forth. Although Joe Biden may have her beat, I mean, you don't dislike him as much as most people dislike Hillary Clinton, but the fact that he's not there and doesn't know where he is, at least Hillary probably knows where she is most of the time.
No,
so
absolutely.
That's the difference.
So here's the next one is where the clip where you see, accepting the nomination, and then you've got Biden, and then you have Harris, and they're like little bubbles, and they're like, she goes like this. What was that?
I don't know. I mean, they're trying too hard with this, create, the fear of social distancing so that they can, drive an election. But you can see there's no love lost there. You can see that they're not fans. I mean, I got a post of mine was censored on Instagram yesterday because I basically said, hey, Kamala Harris said you should believe Joe Biden's sexual assault accusers, and basically called him a racist. I was fact-checking. Well, she didn't call him a racist. Oh, no. She said his policies were this. She hung out with segregationists. He was for busing. Remember that little girl was me nonsense that was so contrived, but Joe Biden walked right into the trap. So she did literally everything but. And because I'm a conservative, because I have that viewpoint, and because social media and the regular media is the marketing arm of the Democrat Party, I was fact-checked for that. But there's no love lost there. Kamala is waiting for him to get in control so she can be in control with her ridiculous radical agenda, because She's smart enough to know what everyone else in America knows and what everyone else in America sees, which is Joe Biden's not there. So it's a little bit ridiculous. And then the sort of magic unicorn nonsense, like greeting with, oh, look, what's going on? It reminds me of, remember the Hillary balloon one in 2016 when she...
Yeah. And he's like, whose birthday is it? What's happening?
It's mind-blowing. It's mind-blowing. They, like I said a couple of times on the radio today, you know, the Democrats really lost their flair. I mean, I understand that everyone in Hollywood and all of these actors, and they get these people to narrate it and the directors to create a production value.
But honestly, be better?
The Democrats,
because of the Hollywood elite, they were supposed to be helping them.
You would think it would be. I mean, I don't like the Hollywood elite, but you'd think they'd be good at putting this together. But I guess ever since Harvey Weinstein went to prison, no, it's true. Ever since he went to prison, he was on all of these things and involved with all of these things. And, you know, he was buddies with all of these Democrats. I mean, he worked, I guess, ever since he went to prison, they're just not quite as good at the production value side of things. So this was a really, really boring week.
You might have gotten to the bottom of it.
I mean, it's sort of my job to watch this stuff, and I couldn't get through it. I heard hateful vitriol. I heard everything that would destroy the middle class. I heard everything about how terrible America is from the Democrats. And I didn't hear any solutions that would actually help the American people. Only a lot of real bitter vitriol.
Yes.
So it's pretty sad and pretty scary.
And they want people to be punished for living their American dream or for trying to work hard and better themselves and, you know, make the world a better place for their children and for future generations. All of that is pure evil, according to the DNC and their convention. So, you know, obviously Joe Biden and the Democrats won't be honest about any of their objectives, Dawn. They're just very, you know, dishonest about what they're trying to achieve. Can you tell us what you think, really, you know, what a Joe Biden administration might look like?
It would be a disaster. Again, you're going to spend $4 trillion. This is not my, you know, what I think is going to happen. It's what's on his website. They're going to spend $4 trillion destroying the middle class, destroying small business. Remember, Biden said, no, if you're in the middle class, you're part of this too. For what? To give health care to illegals? To give free education to illegals? Yeah. Again, if only the American people got that for themselves with their taxpayer dollars. But they don't. They don't. It's insanity. And so this is the plan. You have 50 years of failed leadership. You have policies that don't work. And you compare and contrast that to the Trump administration, where even now, but certainly prior to COVID-19, there was not a single economic metric where we weren't better off than the Obama-Biden administration before it. Again, we're to believe that now these guys did it. They had 8 years, and they had the slowest economic recovery in history. Donald Trump came in 2016, said he's going to do X, Y, Z. He delivered it. He got the results, despite Obama saying, Donald, there's no magic wand for that. Abracadabra, loser. There is a magic wand for it. It's called common sense. It's called maybe having some real experience, not just being a community organizer. It's not Obama's fault that he couldn't grow the American economy. It's not his fault. He'd never done anything like it before. It's our fault for being dumb enough to vote for him. That's our fault. That's on us. But now we have a president who's delivered for the American people. He'll do it again. He's a builder. He can rebuild things. He did the last time under unprecedented incoming, impeachment hoax, Russia hoax, attacks on his family, everything, and he still delivered. I mean, imagine we get the House, hold the Senate, what Donald Trump could accomplish.
For
building
America.
Us out of this disaster that China put us in. Who's going to hold China accountable? Donald Trump? The guy that actually got a trade deal done with them? The guy that, you know, did a trade war with them and won to get a deal? Or Joe Biden, whose son's making $30 billion a year in his fund after the Chinese government invested $1.5 billion with him. The Chinese government. Imagine I did that.
No, forget about it.
The hypocrisy knows no bounds.
As you know, Don, we're in this problem with China because of Biden and his policies and the way that he has allowed also his son to profit off of his office. And so this is, you know, Joe China all the way versus America first. We're going to be right back after this short commercial break. Stay with us.
We know you want to give Donald Trump 4 more years to fight for you in Washington, but he isn't just up against Joe Biden. He's up against the Democrat fundraising machine, and he needs all the help he can get. Don't just assume because his opponent hasn't completed a single sentence that this campaign is over. Crazy things happen, like this woman becoming Speaker of the House. Support the president today by texting Trump to 88022. Donald Trump is counting on every single one of his supporters to text Trump to 88022 now.
I'm Donald Trump, and I approve this message. I need you to stand with me right now and show the fake news and their partner, the Democrats, that no matter what they throw at us, we will keep fighting and we will keep winning and we will make America great again.
Welcome back. I'm Kimberly Guilfoyle, and I'm joined by Don Jr. Don, I want to get your final thoughts, but first, we need as many patriots as possible to get involved and help us in the re-election for President Trump this November. So we ask you to download the new groundbreaking Trump 2020 app, now available on Apple and Android. Sign up to volunteer, register for events, and win exclusive prizes. To stay in contact with us, please text Trump to 88022. And if you or your friends, family, neighbors would like to be involved in our fight to re-elect President Donald J. Trump, please visit armyfortrump.com and sign up. So, Don, any final thoughts out there to the patriots that we want to get involved and make sure they turn out for President Trump to win?
Guys, just get involved. Do whatever you can. Whatever you would do if you woke up on November 4th and Joe Biden or Kamala Harris was president, Chuck Schumer had the Senate, Nancy Pelosi kept the gavel in the House. Whatever you would do to get a do-over then, do it now. Get involved. You can only need to look at their party platform. Look on Joe Biden's website to understand how destructive this would be for America. We cannot take that chance. Our kids' futures, our grandchildren's futures after them are dependent on not letting this country go full commie. Wow. That's where they're going, and it's sad. But they're doing it with the help of a mainstream media who's so heavily biased against Trump that anything he does is wrong. 96% negative coverage. So we have to understand that is the lens by which so many of you and so many hardworking Americans are getting their news. Make sure to get the word out. Get involved. Vote. Call your friends. Make sure they're registered to vote.
Volunteer.
And let's win this thing on November 3rd.
All right, fantastic. And I want to give a huge thank you to all our amazing supporters at home for tuning in. We certainly appreciate it. And we're going to see you all next time as we continue to fight to re-elect President Donald J. Trump and to keep America great. And now, please stay tuned for the President of the United States, President Donald Trump, from his event in Pennsylvania. You won't want to miss this.